was as if Gerald Ouellette was born to play sports. The man they call Lou enjoyed an incredible sports history, and though he wouldn't admit it, Lou is one of the best athletes Bathurst has produced. After starring for the Bathurst juvenile hockey team in the early 60s, Lou was off to Toronto after being scouted by the Maple Leafs. While there, Lou spent time with the Toronto Marlboros, London Nationals, and practiced with the Oshawa Generals, where he got to skate alongside legendary Bobby Orr. Lou scored lots of goals and held his own, but he was a homeboy and he missed Bathurst, so Lou Ouellette came home. As a hard-throwing left-handed pitcher, Lou also excelled in baseball, with plenty of strikeouts and the occasional no-hitter. Lou led his teams to several titles and got to represent New Brunswick at the first ever Canada Summer Games. But it was with hockey's papermakers that we most remember Lou. His leadership, exceptional skills, and fiery spirit led this team to new heights, including the Hardy Cup Championship in 1971. Lou himself was named to the All-Star team 10 times. There is no doubt that this quiet, modest man could play at any level, and we thank Lou Ouellette for the years of sports entertainment he has given this city.
Lou Ouellette was a hockey player that every coach would dream of having. He came to play. He was there probably one of the first at every game. When I used to come in the room before the game, Lou would be over in his little spot, and he was always pretty well all dressed except for his skates and just prancing to get on the ice. Lou was a leader, not a rah-rah leader that when you think of a leader on a team, Lou led by example.
I think because he was such a competitor, you know, it was a burning desire with him to win, you know, was a great thing for Lou. And he was always there to play, and he played.
For intensity, for wanting to play and not missing games for any reason, Lou's probably one of the best. He could do every aspect of that sport. He could skate, he could stick handle, he could score, he knew where the net was. He had all the skills that make that all-around person. And I often believe that had he not come home from junior hockey, because Lou was a homeboy and came home, had he stayed, he was practicing with the Oshawa Generals. Bobby Orr was there at that time, and he chose to pack it up and come home to get some work and get on with his life. His girlfriend was here that he married and still with, and he had skills to be there.
It was probably because of my brother Paul, and I had uncles that played hockey and everything, so there was sports there. And it looked like fun to play and everything. I couldn't skate when I first started, so I played goal. Because I couldn't skate, I wore boots. I only started skating when I was around nine years old.
And in our family, we had a little bit of hockey heritage from both sides. Lou's played baseball as well, but we had the hockey heritage. I had an uncle, John Ouellette, who was an excellent hockey player, and Kenny Babin and Cyril Babin were uncles on another side. And so we had the senior team was big in town, so in the 50s, and they were the models for us, Freddie McKay and Kenny Babin and Charlie Vigneault and Harvey Roussel and Jacques Monette and those people. So we got hand-me-down sticks, and we got to hang around with the guys because of the uncles, and so hockey was a big part of our lives. One pair of skates that Lou got was a pair of tacks. It was the first good pair of skates he ever owned, and it came from Uncle Cyril, who was in the services, and sent back this pair of tacks to him, and it's quite amazing. From there, he just took off. You know, the guy has all kinds of speed, and still today he has excellent speed in hockey.
First pair of skates I ever got, brand new pair of skates, was when I was in Ontario. I went right to the CCM plant and they fitted me with skates. That was quite a treat. But my uncle Cyril gave me a pair of skates before I went away to Ontario. They were second-hand skates. They were CCM tacks. And I wore those for about 4 years. It was scary. When I first got to Ontario and I got off the train, I couldn't believe what I saw. I was 17. Just scary, going to the big city and everything. Where I never went anywhere before, so that part was scary. Yeah, it was hard enough. I got pretty lonesome. I was about 4 weeks up there before I unpacked. Yeah. Played with Neil McNeil in Toronto. Farm team for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I was scouted by Bob Davidson at the time. Well, I was on the ice with Bobby, and he gave me a pass going down the right wing, and I had just turned my head to look to see, and he had already made his pass and was right on my stick. That was fun. Yeah. I played against Bobby Orr. I played a couple of games with the Marlboros, and we played against Oshawa, Bobby Orr, and we tied 3-3, and I got the third goal in that game. I remember that goal. That was kind of exciting.
I kind of followed his career when he was playing junior hockey, and I was looking forward to him coming back. Now, I didn't, let's say, I wasn't against his going up, but I was kind of hoping that he was coming home, because right then I could have used him awful hard playing for the Pavemakers.
But on the other hand, in Oshawa, we had family in Oshawa, and like I say, he practiced with them, and they wanted to sign him, and he said, no, that's it, I'm going home. And I guess he wanted to get on with his life. He got into his trade after that, and has worked with the mill ever since with that trade. So.
But when he did finally get back to Bathurst, and he came in to play, and there's no doubt Lou came to play. Whenever he came to play, he came to play. He was my type of hockey player. So, but that was as soon as he started, he fit in with the team so easily that, and of course everybody looked up to him, and he was a real good team man.
I fit in very good. I was welcome right away, and everything was not a problem. We had a lot of fun. Like I said, we played with guys, and we played together for 10 years, 12 years.
Lou was a guy that could certainly put the puck in the net. We tended to be 1 and 2, or I was in the top 10, but Lou was always amongst the first, the 1-2. Multiple numbers of All-Star games, All-Star teams that he made, and I think he's still the second highest scorer in the All-Star team overall for that North Shore Hockey League. No, he had tremendous skills for putting that puck in the net. He had one move there that the goaltenders couldn't defend against, because if you stayed on the post, he beat you in the backhand. If you moved off the post, he can put it in within, as long as it was 6-inch square there, he could put it in there.
I didn't really coach Lou Ouellette. I was there, and I put him on the ice. I said, Lou, it's your turn, come on. And I didn't have to tell him anything. He knew what to do. He was that type of hockey player. And when he got on the ice, he was always a dangerous hockey player. And you had to have a special centerman for Lou Ouellette, because Lou Ouellette was more like the Rocket Reef Shore type. From the blue line in, you had to hit him with that puck. Otherwise, then it was, because he was cutting. He'd be cutting in that blue line, and you had to hit him with that puck on the stick at the right time. And once he got that puck, then he was on his way. So I used to try a different centerman, but I always came back to his brother Paul.
And for some reason, right off the bat, we clicked. I seemed to know where he was. I seemed to sense where he was, and he with me. And we played together almost 15 years in the senior hockey here.
Lou Ouellette was known all across the Maritimes, really. It didn't take him long to, any place we played in, it didn't take long for them to find out who Lou Ouellette was, because of his ability. He was a good hockey player, and there's another part. Lou was quite a physical hockey player as well.
Lou was very physically endowed as well. He was never big, but could fight as well, if not better than most. And he never wanted to. He never started anything. But if it needed to be done, and if you know senior hockey, sometimes it needs to be done. Yes, some people certainly regret that challenging him.
I like both sports. I really enjoyed them both. When I was playing baseball and I was on the pitching mound, you were in control. It was fun to play. It was.
On the baseball field is where my first recollection of Lou, really, you know, seeing him as to who he was and what he did. He was a good hockey player, but I thought he was equally good as a ball player.
Edmund Burke, who was a member of this Hall of Fame, was a next-door neighbor and gave Louis for his ball glove and a lot of tips on baseball, because he was quite a good semi-pro baseball player. And Lou, being a southpaw, and had excellent skills and excellent control with the pitch, brought him along quite well. He played a lot of ball, and I didn't play. I supported. I remember driving in the Plaster Rock for provincial championship one time. I had my license and he didn't, and there's all kinds of things like that. He had a, like I say, excellent. I used to catch for him with no equipment, and the knuckleball that he used to throw, like, it used to scare me because he couldn't follow it. Fastball is extremely fast, and but as far as playing ball, that was Lou's skill. And I might add, he's a natural athlete. He'll play golf, he'll break 90, doesn't play golf. He plays badminton, he'll beat most people. He's just a good athlete and seems to have that skill to be able to pick up any kind of sport with timing and so on. So. Well, I'm very proud for this evening. I'm proud for Lou, and I'm proud to be, as a part of his family, to be part of this thing, because I know the dedication that he gave into it. I know how he played with hurt knees and broken ribs, and there was maybe a selfless part of the game at that time, and he certainly gave it all for the community.
He belongs in the Hall of Fame. I honestly believe he's done his job. He was a benefit to our community, and I don't think that anybody that has benefited, he's benefited personally because he loves the sport. He loved baseball, he loved hockey, and he always gave 100% in both games. So Bathurst can be proud of Lou Ouellette.
I don't need a whole lot of excitement in my life. I'm just very content, very happy with my family. That's all I need. Like I say, my kids have been supportive. My wife is unbelievable. If ever you met my wife, you'd know.
Lou would be committed, a person that's committed to everything he does, totally committed. And that commitment brings nothing but excellence forth in him. And I think that comment would say it, is commitment and dedication.
I never looked at myself individually. We always played, it was a team. And you know, we won it. Never looked back at what I did. It just was a team. It was.
I'd be more than proud to be there and have my brother being inducted, because I'm proud of him and I think he's proud of me, and it all goes around that way. So.
Well, I'm pretty pleased about this. It's quite an honor, and I was a Bathurst boy, and always was. I had all kinds of chances to play hockey other places, and I decided to stay here, and I'm glad I did. You know, I'm a hometown boy, and Bathurst is my home.
Gerald Lou Ouellette, a hockey player, a baseball pitcher, a true Bathurst sports legend, a man who gave his best for the team. We salute you as a 1996 inductee into the Bathurst Sports Hall of Fame.